Look, we know sports stars are in a different stratosphere. Monetarily, obviously, socioeconomic status. Not a single soul that is fortunate enough to have a job in this crazy-ass world, in this pandemic, can look their boss in the eye and say what James Harden said publicly. Not many people could go to their boss in the eye and say to him or her, let alone call a press conference for their own world and say into a microphone, just not going to work here. I don't think it's going to work here.
Done all I can.
Because if that happens, then you don't work there, and no one else is going to be jumping in and saying, let me completely change our entire business plan and flip the table, figuratively, of our business plan over. When the Nets woke up, anyone in the Nets organization woke up 48 hours ago, or let's just say whoever's in charge of the Nets organization that can greenlight what was greenlighted yesterday. Let's just say they went to sleep early. Let's just say they got kids. Let's just say they just, had a long weekend. They're just like, I'm going to turn in early. I'm going to go to sleep. And then they just wake up the next day and they look at their Twitter feed or what have you, or look at their phone and see James Harden's post-game comments after the Lakers boat race, the Rockets saying, yeah, I don't think it's going to work here. Thank you. Out. Peace out. Out. You're immediately saying, okay, I'm assuming there had to have maybe been some conversations between the Nets and Houston or something. You can't imagine yesterday's trade being able to be thrown together in a couple hours. Maybe it was. But we don't get to live this way. James Harden and NBA All-Stars get to live this way. NBA All-World stars get to live this way. I don't even know if NFL players get to live this way. I mean, Antonio Brown had to take to his social media feed and basically act all kinds of different ways to Sunday to get out of the Oakland Raiders at the time. What other? Give me other NFL stars that are essentially like Deshaun Watson may be pulling this right now, but not even. People who know him very well think that he really does want to trade and to try and get himself out of Houston. Maybe he does.
T.O. kind of.
T.O. did sit-ups on the front lawn and stuff like that.
Eli?
Well, Eli...
Before he even got into it.
Eli said, I'm not coming somewhere.
Yeah, but Marshall did that too. I mean, that's the thing that happens.
Right, we've seen that in the NFL.
Yeah, John
but
Elway.
like under contract somewhere and say, it doesn't work here anymore, I want out. I mean, I guess T.O. did that back in the day.
Got out of Philadelphia that way.
Right, and Antonio Brown obviously did it in the NFL, but not he paid a price, I guess, after he got booted from New England based on what he had done in previous days personally. But my point, I guess, is I kind of don't know how to feel about this. I mean, where you just don't act professionally. It's just that simple. You don't show up on time, and then you show up overweight, and then you get to go where you want to go after all. Now he'll just, I'm assuming, run around and, start eating all the antioxidants and take almonds instead of, Twixes or whatever,
Yeah.
I guess he'll start getting back into shape, and Harden is who he is, and now he's going to be in Brooklyn after all. And then I'm assuming Kyrie, wherever he is excited and is ready to come in. Has he commented yet? Has he publicly surfaced in any way, shape, or form, even on any social media, saying this is great? I'm ready to roll?
We've not heard from Kyrie yet.
Meanwhile, no Kyrie, no Harden, and Durant goes into Madison Square Garden last night and does what he does, which is score 25 or more points. 8 straight games now. Look at him. So now he gets what he wants, and then...
He is going to be in Brooklyn today. Sean Marks, the Nets GM, said that he expects James to be there today.
Sure. I mean, why wouldn't he be? He'd be on the first private jet he can possibly get. He's got to be walking on air. He got to live his life the way that he wanted to live his life. It was just a difficult for him 2 weeks to be where he didn't want to be, 3 weeks where he didn't want to be. And now the Rockets get an insane amount for James. Insane amount for him.
Look at this. If you're watching on Peacock right now, look at this draft.
I'll
look
read
at this
it out.
trade.
I'll read it out. I mean, like, because you see all those movies with crazy conspiracy theories where there's newspaper clippings and magazine clippings and photographs attached by red string and whatever. Like, that's how you have to figure out this trade.
Yeah.
So, essentially, the Nets get Harden, and the Cavs were pulled into this deal. They get a second-round pick in 2024 from the Cavs, who get Jared Allen and Taurean Prince.
Poor Jared Allen in all of this.
And the Pacers wind up with the stellar Karis LeVert in exchange in a trade that has yet to be announced for Victor Oladipo. So the Pacers are pulled into this, and the Rockets get Oladipo, Dante Exum, Rodion Kurucs. The following first rounders from the Nets, the next season's first rounder, 2022. Then 2 years after that, 2024 and 2026, they get a first-round pick from the Cavaliers via Milwaukee, 2022. They get 2 first-rounders next year in addition to their own. 2021, 2023, 2025, 2027, first-round pick swaps with the Nets. Holy cow. Good for them, man. One player, and it just... They've restocked the fridge. The fridge is restocked, and we'll see what they do with it. And I'll just say this. Kyrie, when he's finished smudging where he's smudging with his sage and his flat eartherism and all this crazy stuff that you get with him, I'm assuming whatever is going on with him, he's contacted Steve Nash or he's taking his phone calls, and he'll show up. And then Harden's going to take some time for him to get into shape and to figure out how it all works together with Durant. And Steve Nash, in his first year as being a head coach, has got an incredible amount of talent and a huge job of trying to figure out how the pieces fit and how everyone can, coexist. Because last I checked, I looked in the rule book, and I also scrubbed the internet to see if they changed the rule. There is just one basketball, right? That's
Correct.
just what, okay, still.
Yeah,
just
the
one
rules
ball.
haven't changed.
So they're going to have to figure out all that stuff. Steve Nash, who knows how to share, is going to have to do all that. Thankfully, he's got one of the, as he said, a pleasure to coach, one of the most pliable superstars maybe in the history of superstardom, in Durant. I'll just say this. I'll still take the Lakers right now. I know you posted that last night on our Twitter feed.
I did, and it's over,
I hit the Lakers.
Yeah, it's over 50% on Lakers, too.
I'll take the Lakers still right now.
I mean, I picked the Lakers before the season.
I'll take the Lakers right now. Everyone's assuming Nets versus Lakers. Why not?
Yeah, Lakers Nets or the field is what I posted at
I don't know, man.
Show.
I don't know, man. I'd rather go with a team that just won it and the superstars already know how to coexist. And you take out they've upgraded at the point guard position, with all due respect to playoff Rondo. I think they've got a deeper. Harrell's been dynamite already. You could see what he's added to this mix.
Deeper and younger.
Kuzma's yet to even. I think he's trying to still figure his way in this whole thing. By April, they should figure that all out. I'll still take the Lakers right now.
LeBron still plays for them, right?
He sure does, and he's playing every damn night when everybody else has got back spasms and knees this and that, and this, that, the other thing. I'll still take the Lakers, but I'm a little conflicted. I'll be honest with you. I know it's the way of the world. I know I'm not. I'm not off the old sports turnip truck. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.